Hello and welcome to the show that packs a whack KO. We've got a great program lined up for you, including a preview of Kevin Kelly's showdown with David Reid. But first, to the news making headlines around the boxing world. Mike Tyson will return to the ring on October the 2nd. While no opponent has been finalised, there's every chance it will be either Zelko Mavrovic, who went the distance with Lennox Lewis last year, or German Axel Schulz. Should Tyson win this non-pay-per-view contest, he'll fight again on December 11 with an upgraded opponent along the lines of either Andrew Gallotta or Shannon Briggs. Roy Jones seems to be once again considering a move to heavyweight. The unified light heavyweight king has been viewing tapes of David Tua and Cuban giant Jorge Gonzalez. WBO featherweight champ Nazim Hamed will attempt to partly unify the crown when he meets WBC counterpart Cesar Soto on November 6 in Las Vegas. For one of the few times in history, there will be no public sale of tickets for a fight. The De La Hoya Trinidad showdown set for September 18 has been completely sold out. Sam Solomon has joined a select group of Australian fighters to win 3 national titles when he captured the Australian middleweight crown with a unanimous decision victory over Queenslander Brad Mayo. Solomon had previously won the cruiserweight and super middleweight titles. On the same card, Shannon Taylor kept himself in line for a crack at the WBC welterweight title with a third-round knockout over American veteran Lonnie Beasley. It's been confirmed that Kostya Tszyu will defend his WBC super lightweight crown against Miguel Gonzalez on August 21. Tszyu, who's lost just once in 24 fights, hasn't fought since November last year when he crunched Diablo Furtado inside 5 rounds to win the vacant world title. And with Jeff unavailable, I'm joined by the editor of the World of Boxing, Ray Wheatley. And Ray, it'll be interesting to see Kostya Tszyu's approach for this fight. He's had a habit of rushing lately in his fights, and he'll need to pace himself against Gonzalez.
Yes, I agree, Matthew. He's again, with Gonzalez, he's got a very difficult task in front of him. And this guy's got a tremendous work rate and is very durable. So it's going to be probably Kostya Tszyu's toughest fight. And
De La Hoya Trinidad, how do you see that fight unfold?
Well, I think that Trinidad will eventually defeat De La Hoya, but De La Hoya will be dangerous in the early rounds, but I'm looking for he's a better two-handed puncher, Trinidad, and I think eventually he'll get on top.
And still in, still in the welterweights, Shannon Taylor, another impressive win for him, but really now just a waiting game.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that Shannon would be hoping for De La Hoya to win that fight with Trinidad, which means De La Hoya has stated he'll move straight up to the light middleweights, which will leave the title vacant, and that will leave number 2 contender Taylor to fight Daryl Colley, and I would say that Taylor would be a hot favourite to beat Colley.
Yeah, that would be a great moment. And this weekend, Aussie Kevin Kelly faces his moment of truth when he meets WBA junior middleweight champ David Reid. While the American enters the showdown a firm favourite, Kelly has shown over the past 7 years he's not to be underestimated. Here's a preview of the matchup. Although he hasn't received the same hype as his Olympic teammates Floyd Mayweather and Fernando Vargas, David Reid is a fighter many believe has the potential to become a great champion. A smooth boxer who possesses genuine power, he was the only American to win a gold medal at the 1996 Atlanta Games. Since then, he's been fast-tracked towards a world title. In his first year as a pro, he fought on 6 occasions in 9 months, ending 97 with a 5th-round KO of durable Dan Connolly.
David Reid has been firing that right hand thus far off of his back leg. He's leaning forward a little bit more behind the jab, as his corner suggested. He will get more power on that right hand, and you're watching good power here by Reid.
Just prior to winning the WBA version of the junior middleweight title from Laurent Boudouani, he faced a tougher-than-expected James Coker.
This is a tough, hard-nosed kid from Texas. I don't know, I think they're going to give a standing 8 count here, but that ring has been slippery.
But it's fights like that against quality opponents so early in his career that many say will give him the edge over Kelly. Kevin Kelly spent much of his early career fighting in the clubs around Sydney. His first major win came against Leo Young Jr. back in September of 1995, when he challenged for the Commonwealth crown.
Oh, right hand was a good punch from Kelly. It came
from underneath and it hurt Young. I think it slowed him momentarily. And he's got him again with another short right.
3 months later, Kelly dominated former world champ Chris Pyatt, but was on the wrong end of a disgraceful hometown decision.
Kevin Kelly from Australia and another solid right hander. He's really beginning to chip away at Chris Pyatt.
Pyatt landed a good leg kick too, but as you say, caught a little leg kick from Kelly.
Oh, cracking right hand again. And Pyatt's down. He's cut below the eye and above the eye at this stage. Really shocking looking cut above his eye. Not jumping out of it, almost falls to the floor. Feels sure. I feel sure. Oh! Pyatt's got it!
No way.
Pyatt's got it! Oh! That is a surprise. There you have it. Well, we did see it. Boxing scoring is subjective. But I feel that Dave Paris was way off the mark there.
He would regain the title 18 months later and along the way added the PABA championship to his trophy cabinet with a dominating performance against Kiwi Jason Rorare. Kevin Kelly continues to pursue. Oh, and there he goes again with that right, and another one that slams his head right back. The third one in a row, and finally, Rorare goes down. Although he doesn't possess a big punch, Kelly has plenty of ring experience. If he's to have any chance of upsetting Reid, he'll need to avoid the American's big right hand, while at the same time peppering his suspect left eye. While no one denies a huge task awaits the Australian, he believes come Sunday night he'll be the first Aboriginal since Lionel Rose to win a world title. And just before they left for the States, I in fact spoke to the trainer of Kevin Kelly, George Reno, and he said that they were using the fact that Reid was taking this fight lightly as motivation.
Yeah, I can understand that, Mathew, that the people in the States seem to think it's a foregone conclusion that Reid is going to win the fight. He's 30-1 favourite by the bookmakers over there. But I think that Kevin Kelly can rise to the occasion and cause Reid all sorts of problems.
My concern is that Kevin does lack a big punch, and I think he needs to try and offset David Reid in some way.
Yeah, well, you don't always need the big punch to win the fights, Mathew, and I think with his the great speed he's got, his great reflexes, I think he can rise to the occasion and give Reid problems.
Yeah, he's also a very intelligent fighter, and you think if he can hone in on that suspect left eye of Reid, well, then maybe he can frustrate him and even panic him.
Yeah, well, let's hope so, Mathew.
And you're watching KO. We'll return with more right after this break.